Yeah, y'all gonna stop coming in my live talking about this Victor dude, bro. We hooping this year. Y'all gonna see.
Alright team, today we have some news regarding Dylan Harper, but before we get into that, I want to remind y'all the giveaway at 2,000 subscribers is closing in quickly. We are now about 120 subscribers away from our goal, and then we will be giving a Stephon Castle jersey away. So y'all be sure to click the link in the description or maybe even in the comment section to enter in the giveaway. So y'all be sure to do that, and let's go ahead and jump straight into this post. So shout out to Evan for bringing this to X. I don't know how he got this picture, but it is Dylan Harper in a Spurs workout uniform or like just a tee and some Spurs shorts. And if you ask me, it looks like he's pretty happy. It looks like he's smiling back here in the Spurs practice facility. And Evan says, word on the street is someone got a guaranteed starting spot in the Spurs rotation. You can put down the trade machine now. This is the cosign we've been needing. Harper FC, can I get a year? Yeah, you got a year from me. So shout out to Harper FC. I'm definitely a part of that fan club. And I'm not entirely sure about this right here. I know Evan for sure is tapped in and he's got his sources. And I'm not saying he's wrong. Like, I don't want to doubt him or whatever, but this is crazy to believe if the Spurs actually said that he's going to get a starting spot off rip and he is going to be the number 2 draft pick, but it's just like, who do you put on the bench? I don't want to put Steph Castle on the bench, but Devin Vassell is making so much money that do you really put him as the 6th man, and will he feel some way about that? You just have a rookie come in and take his spot. Now, would I be mad at just putting Vassell on the bench? No, I would probably like that, but I don't know if it's a Spurs thing to do, and guaranteeing someone a starting spot who you haven't even drafted yet, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm a little sus about it because I don't think that's something that the Spurs would do. But I'm not saying Evan just got on here and started lying for some engagement or whatever. I'm not saying that. He probably did hear that, and if it's true, then props to Evan, but I'm having a hard time buying into that. But this does solidify my thoughts that he will be drafted next week by the Spurs. I'm so excited to see him even in Summer League. Spurs fans have just been eating with the Summer League content. We got some games of Wemby, we got Steph Castle masterclasses, and now we're gonna get to watch Dylan Harper play in the Summer League. I don't think he's gonna play the whole thing, but 1 or 2 games and then he gets pulled out. But nonetheless, it's gonna be a fun season, and I can't believe we got the number 2 pick. Cooper Flag reclassed into this draft class. So technically he should be a part of the 26th draft, which that would mean that Dylan Harper would have been the number 1 pick. So it's kind of like the Spurs got the number 1 pick this year. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but it's the truth. Dylan Harper reclassed into this draft class. And so it's really like the Spurs got the number 1 pick all over again. And we are very lucky. Man, Dylan Harper's going to be a star. But shout out to the Pat McAfee show. He had Shams on his show. And I don't want to play it because I don't want them to copyright me. But he said, I think the Spurs feel really good about that number 2 pick. And Dylan Harper has already met with them. So this confirms our post that we just went over of him in the Spurs workout uniform. I'm sure he worked out and he showed the Spurs what they wanted to see. And about Kevin Durant, they talk a little bit about it. And Shams said that the Spurs have been patient, or they haven't really made a peep in the last 2 days. Now, we did see that report where they could go after someone else who could fit the timeline a little bit better, and I'm not mad at that at all. I think the Spurs just put their offer out and they're like, here, if you want it, take it. If not, then that's fine. But if we don't get Kevin Durant, the Spurs will definitely be on the hunt for someone who enters the market a little bit later, and that's a good move too. But I feel really confident in Dylan Harper's ability, and this shows that the Spurs do too. Shout out to Fiesta City Hoops. Per Brett Siegel, the Sixers have offered multiple first-round picks in addition to the 3rd pick to the Spurs to move up 1 spot and select Dylan Harper. The Spurs haven't budged. Now a big decision faces Philly with the 3rd pick, and I think they're going to take VJ Edgecombe. I don't think they take Ace Bailey after all the news about him and his camp came out, but this report is huge because the Spurs believe that Dylan Harper is the player that we all think he is. He's the bona fide number 2 pick, and like I said, if Cooper Flag didn't reclass, he'd be the number 1 pick. But he's got real talent, and I think he's got star upside. So to pass up multiple first-round picks, you know the Spurs love their first-round picks. They shipped Dillingham off for 2 first-round picks, and so if they're getting multiple along with the number 3 pick, that shows you their type of belief in Dylan Harper. And I know some think that the Spurs scouting has fallen off, but I think they're still really good. They're high level. A majority of the core that we have today is because the Spurs can draft. And they did get lucky with some lottery odds, I'm not gonna lie, but getting Stephon Castle, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Vassell, Keldon Johnson, they know talent. And Keldon Johnson was a late first round pick. I think he was like pick 29 or something like that. So the Spurs still have that eye for talent. When they believe they have a good player that they can draft, I'm going to stand beside them. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so I'm fully behind the Spurs. And it looks like the Spurs have aligned thinking with all of us, or at least the ones who want Dylan Harper at number 2. So with that being said, y'all be sure to drop y'all's comments. What do y'all think about the post of Dylan Harper in his Spurs workout uniform? What do you think about him getting guaranteed a starting spot? Do we know if that's true? No. But all I can say is I'm very excited for this draft next week. We're going to draft Dylan Harper, and I'm excited to see what we do with that number 14th pick. Maybe we trade it for some future firsts. But as always, y'all be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Until next time, it has been your boy Chris, and I'm out.